Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday morning here at Bitcoin Say What?
Bitcoin Say What?
Boom. Hey, how's everybody doing this morning? Brenda, how you doing this morning?
I'm perfect. And Mark, I think that when we do that little cute little Bitcoin Say What, we both have to do our shimmy our shoulders.
I don't shimmy my shoulders for anybody.
That's true.
I'm not feeling saucy or sassy or whatever. Hey, what a weekend, huh?
It was a nice weekend. Yep.
Capped off last night. We had a nice Zoom meeting with people all across this beautiful country of ours and went extremely well.
Yep. What was we were Zooming with a bunch of people that we've met that are into crypto, and it was nice to be around like-minded people, and we had a good time with everybody. So hopefully if they're watching the replay, we really enjoyed our time.
Yeah,
So.
thank you, everyone. It was wonderful. It's great to know there's some awesome people out there in the grand old USA. So,
All right, why don't you bring us some news, and I'm going to talk about our background.
Some news, baby. Let's get.
First of all, we always like to have our background a beautiful place of America because we do love America. And behind us is the Golden Gate Bridge in California by Sacramento, not Sacramento, San Francisco. Thank you. And it's absolutely stunning. I have not been there yet, but it looks very beautiful. And behind Mark, we have his favorite thing, fishing. And it almost looks like when Mark sits back, like that Mark has got the hook in his neck. If he sits just the right way, it almost
nice. Yes. Nice hook in my neck. That's fabulous.
There's many times that I feel like I could do that to you.
I actually hooked my brother in the nose once when I was fishing as a kid. It was funny. It was funny at the time. Obviously, it's not funny.
All the way through, or just a little bit?
Oh, it was not pretty. It was not. It was funny because it happened so quickly, but it was.
And the barb on that thing, how'd you get the barb back out?
Oh, you don't even want to. Just thinking about it, it kind of there was horror and hilarious being funny at the same time. So
is this Don?
No. We'll chat on who it was later. But it was funny. Anyway, all right, here we go. We're going to start off our top story today. Bitcoin is a #1 pick. Asset manager confident BTC will take him to the top of the stock draft competition. Okay, so this is a competition amongst asset managers, and some of them are. I think Kevin O'Leary is one of them. This is a CNBC stock draft. Kind of goes along with the NFL draft this weekend. An annual stock picking competition. Bitcoin was the #1 pick. Tim Seymour, the founder of Seymour Asset Management, believes that the government will come out with regulations that support Bitcoin. He is confident that cryptocurrency will take him to the top this year. So they have every year they have a stock picking competition, and I think he's won this before, so I'm not 100% sure on that one, but I'm going to get into this a little bit, and it's just kind of a fun little thing to start off with. CNBC's 2021 stock draft, an annual blah, 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 blah. I read that, blah, blah, blah. Each team makes 2 picks from a list of 60 stocks and other investments. The teams are led by asset manager Tim Seymour, Maria Ho, Olympic swimmer Ryan Murphy, Shark Tank's Kevin O'Leary, the stock guy Jason Frank, also competing blah, 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 blah. So I'm going to go on down here. Here's the picture of these wonderful people here. These are all people that are in the competition here. And I think
competition end, does it say?
You know what? I don't know when it says. It probably says at the end. I'm going to assume it's at the end of the year. So, probably it's a pretty straightforward thing. So I'm just going to go kind of down in here. This Tim Seymour, founder and chief investment officer of Seymour Asset Management, won the drawing to make the first pick for the competition this year. Last time he got to make the first pick was in 2019 when he picked General Electric. That's funny when you think about it. I don't know what I find funny about that, but that's funny. GE, are they
no cannabis? It says he didn't pick anything.
Yes. Okay, let me go. We'll go into that. I didn't know cannabis was such a trigger, Brenda.
No, I'm just finding it because that seems like it's a trigger for all of them. Like, cannabis is the cutting edge. And
we gotta have cannabis because cannabis is taking us to that next level. All right, as an experienced investor in the cannabis space who manages Amplify Seymour cannabis ETF. Seymour was expected to pick a cannabis stock first. However, he chose Bitcoin as his top pick this year, stating, "It wasn't easy. There's no Trevor Lawrence out there." Trevor Lawrence is a football player, but I'm happy to say no cannabis. I'm taking the Bitcoin talents to South Beach. That's right. Number one pick, Bitcoin. So this is kind of a fun competition. Obviously, the guy that gets to pick first is going to pick the best. So this is just kind of a reaffirmation that Bitcoin is the best. It's the Rolls Royce of cryptocurrency.
Nice.
So
Nice.
I expect a policy to follow through that is going to be very supportive of Bitcoin. So that's the story there.
All right, I'm gonna pick something. I'm gonna do something when you're done.
Okay, I'm working my way out. I'm working my way off the StreamYard. There we go.
All right, so our title of our channel today, the thumbnail and title said car dealerships and dentists are into Bitcoin. So I'd like to talk about that.
Okay.
Car dealerships and dentists want in on this Valkyrie's Bitcoin Trust. The fund opens to accredited investors on May the 1st. Previously, the vehicle only included a handful of his clients. So basically, if you want to read this is on CoinDesk and just search this up. Basically, what's happening is that car dealerships and dentists are taking their reserve capital and they are they're putting it into Bitcoin. And so when we think that just, it's just the big institutions are getting in, it's just the pension funds, it's just, these large investors are wealthy people. I'm not saying the dealerships and dentists are not wealthy individuals, but you kind of might think of them a little bit more on the mom and pop side, at least the dentists. And they're realizing the potential of Bitcoin. And if you have, as a company, if you've been in business for a long time, you usually have a pile of reserves kind of built up in your bank accounts, et cetera. And so they're starting to convert some of that over. And so it's just showing that the adoption is happening and people are turning their reserves over, some of it. And I don't believe that the people that are doing this are going to get shaken off of their boots when there is the next Bitcoin 20% drop. They're not going to quick sell it. I think they're going to hold on to their business reserves in Bitcoin and not cash out of it. So I want to share one more thing about the it was that one. And
well, Brenda, isn't it, I'm going to talk, you don't have to answer, but think about it. It's, if their money sits where it sits, it stagnates. So
right.
You've seen stagnant water. It doesn't look good and it doesn't smell good. So
right.
Obviously having something that can either keep up or improve over time instead of just sitting there and actually probably being taken advantage of in terms of inflation. I'm sorry, I'm stuttering there.
Okay. Do you want to share your next one? Because I have to go off camera, so I'm going to put you on full camera screen. I have to go do something.
Oh, baby,
can you share? I know, everybody. That's your perfect dream.
Man,
the whole thing is just you.
Hold on.
It's just you. It's perfect. And
there we go. Hold on.
Can you do the NFL one?
I'm gonna do the NFL one. That's a good call, Brenda. Way to go. All right, here we go. Here we go. Boom.
Okay, let me get you on there.
All right. Okay, can I rip roar on this one?
Yep, go ahead.
All right. The number one NFL draft pick, Trevor Lawrence, puts his signing bonus into cryptocurrencies, estimated worth $24 million. As a former football player, I never realized how smart football players are. This young man he's going to be happy when he's an old man. So kudos to him. This is a generational thing for him. So I'm going to kind of go into the story here real quick. Let's see. Number one draft pick, Trevor Lawrence, has reportedly converted his entire signing bonus. That's just the signing bonus to cryptocurrencies via crypto from firm Blockfolio. Lawrence is the top overall pick in the 2021 National Football League. His signing bonus is estimated to be around $24 million. Awesome. Okay. The 6'6", 220-pounder has partnered with crypto management and trading platform Blockfolio, where he has reportedly converted his sign-on bonus to cryptocurrencies. Lawrence tweeted last week, Pumped to announce I've joined Blockfolio. Excited to help bring these two worlds together, he also said. This is another big step in adoption because it's not just a young man who is starting his career out in football, which is one of the biggest entities in the world. But it also says on the opposite side of that is that the team itself, and I believe he went to the Jacksonville Jaguars, that they're paying him. So that's two sides, no pun intended. That's two sides of the coin. So you've got it from the company, and now you have it too, for better or worse, the employee. What a wonderful thing. And this is going to draw attention because people are going to be like, what in the world? Why would this guy do this? Because that's the first thing. It's like, I don't get it. Why is this guy doing this? And then you're going to have other players and other teams kind of stick their nose in here and figure out, well, this is what we're going to do. So when it comes to my crypto portfolio, I wanted a long-term partner in the space that I could trust. And Blockfolio has been around for a while, and this is just the future. So it's just basically saying, hey, folks, it's here. And how you're gonna take part of it is really up to you. The payment deposited Friday was reportedly converted into 3 cryptocurrencies: BTC, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana.
Nice. Could you also share the next, because I have to go off screen for one more time. Could you do that stablecoin article? Because then I want to segue into my article.
Absolutely. Hold on. I want to make sure I get out of this correctly. So congratulations to that young man.
If you could hurry up and do that.
My fat fingers working as fast as
I've got a dog that's barking outside before.
Okay. No,
because it's raining out. So if you get onto that stablecoin thing.
Yep, I am working on it.
The lovely stuff that happens during a live stream.
Oh, of course. Okay.
We're watching our son's dog, and
we're watching. Yeah, we're in the dog watching business. There's no future in crypto. It's all in dog sitting. So that's kind of where we're going. Okay. All right. The way of the stablecoin: a journey towards stability, trust, and decentralization. Stablecoins backed by fiat and other assets are increasingly gaining popularity, with many more solutions being brought in onto the market each year. Okay, Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies have opened the doors to a whole new world of finance in their most basic form. Cryptocurrencies allow people to transact in a fully trustless, transparent, and efficient manner, cutting out the centralized intermediaries known as banks and other parties, and counterparty risk previously associated with digital money transfers. Thanks to blockchain technology, value can be transferred on a worldwide scale within seconds/minutes and with relatively low fees. But that's not all. However, Bitcoin and Ether are still too volatile to be used as a currency, a fact that has hindered their mass adoption. Although Bitcoin and blockchain technology are still in their infancy, volatility is still predominant in the industry, which has led to the creation of something that takes the best of both worlds: stablecoins. Popular examples are Tether and USDC.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So essentially, it's moving fiat into the crypto world, and obviously now that the central banks are starting to, if Bill Maher says that cryptocurrencies are a joke, I find it funny. That was something that was said this weekend. Then why is the central banks going to digital currencies? It can't be that silly, but they're late to the party as always. So I'm going to leave it at that. And so this is just another way that you're taking your money and off-ramping out of the fiat into a cryptocurrency, by which I believe some of these places also, if you keep your money there, I think Blockfolio is actually one of them too, that you get paid a little interest on it. And
absolutely. Why would anybody not want to? I mean, weren't you just talking about earlier that some of these countries are going into negative interest rates?
Yeah. I just read this weekend. I can't remember. It was one of those Netherlands, Norway. Don't quote me on the country, but it was one of those.
I won the bet last time about the country.
No bets. No, well, I didn't lose anything. It was just a gentleman,
Yeah.
a ladies bet. No, it just said that in the article I read was talked about negative interest rates, and the negative interest rates, if you had over $16,000, you were charged a negative interest rate. So it's
Yeah, you're
like,
paying the bank to keep your money. And so what they
yeah,
do that because
wow.
they want you
Can
to take the money out and spend it.
can I earn it and then put it in your place, and then you can take it? Why don't you?
Right.
What's the difference between that and the government?
Right.
I mean,
Exactly.
some
Sit
point-
back, sit back just a little bit.
oh
Look,
yeah, I'm
look at
sorry.
the hook. See that hook? See that hook right by your
Counsel.
neck?
What's that?
Sit back a little bit. See now the hook to your left shoulder there.
My left shoulder.
Your left shoulder. No,
Hold on.
turn your head a little bit. Just put your head. See the hook?
I got to turn right. When you say left, it's kind of like, wait a minute, I'm getting confused because I'm trying to do
I'm
it.
talking about your true left because I didn't know if you could flip that in your mind.
Is that the hook?
Yeah, there's the hook.
Yeah. That's a,
Anywho, all right. So let me go on to my article now.
yeah.
So kind of pairing off of the stable coin, I like to talk about how there's been a little bit of FUD in the news. And so we're going to talk about the FUD, and then I'm going to bring in a couple more. What's that?
What's FUD, Brenda?
Fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And they love to talk about this. Bitcoin is a disgusting product that comes out of thin air, says Charlie Munger. And I hate the Bitcoin success. And I don't welcome a currency that is so useful to kidnappers and extortionists and so forth, said the billionaire. Like he doesn't think that the dollar is any way involved in anything.
Kidnappers and extortionists before this.
Right. They only come out because of crypto, and they never use the dollar or any other country's, money. It's crazy. And so, he comes out, he goes, the whole development is disgusting and contrary to the interests of civilization. And so this is just, a little bit of FUD, and people are like, oh, Charlie Munger, who is with Berkshire Hathaway, is like the brains behind it, right, Mark?
Yeah.
And
he's the sidekick to old Warren Buffett.
Yeah. And so they're like, oh, so they had those two old guys the other day, respectfully, talking. And so they're like, oh, if these two guys say it bad, then, they're on the cutting edge. And so they spread this FUD. And so that way people who are sort of thinking about getting into it are like, maybe we shouldn't do that. And then JP Morgan. Okay, here's another one. So now we're kind of working our way up. The U.S. is still waiting on its first Bitcoin ETF. Here's what experts say the SEC wants to see before giving their approval. The SEC has started reviewing applications for Bitcoin exchange-traded funds, which have yet to launch in the U.S. The regulator will consider Bitcoin's volatility and market maturity in rendering a decision whether or not to greenlight this product. Of course, they're going to greenlight it. They're just, trying to figure out probably other ways to onboard before they launch this. And so, they're going to push this off, it says, until this summer. The SEC recently pushed back a decision on a Bitcoin ETF until at least this summer.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And there's I believe there are 9 applications for ETFs as it sits right now. So it depends. I listened to a couple guys talking about this. Actually, their company's also looking to do an ETF. I could not remember the name, but one of the gentlemen is a Chicagoan, and the other guy was on the West Coast. And basically, the bottom line is, whatever your ETF is going to contain and how it's structured is the importance of how this is going to come out. So
yeah. All right. So JP Morgan, again, so this has already been put out there. So they're kind of throwing this back out there, could make its first Bitcoin fund available to private rich clients. Isn't it so nice that it's only available to the wealthy as soon as this summer, reports say. JP Morgan is preparing to roll out its first Bitcoin fund, which is different than an ETF, for wealthy clients, according to CoinDesk. The fund set to launch this summer. So it looks like this summer, this is all going to kind of happen. It's said to be actively managed, to be an actively managed one. The bank recently said liquidity in the Bitcoin market should recover quickly after its price drop. And so here we now have.
Which it did.
Yes. Yeah. It always comes back. So the SEC has to look at it and say, okay, are we going to approve these ETFs? JP Morgan says probably this summer we're going to launch our own Bitcoin fund. We know other countries, I think Canada, we reported last week, just did their own fund or ETF last week, or they announced it last week and it's launching. Other countries are already doing this. So the US is actually really far behind. And then I wanted to kind of piggyback off of that and then talk real briefly kind of with Mark's stablecoin news. Give me a second here.
No problem. We got enough, but I'm fishing here. I'm just
Yes, digital currencies are imminent, and the central banks are a big reason why. When they burst into the public news in 2009, the digital market for digital currencies was the Wild West. Bitcoin and many imitators that spawned from it. So what are CBDCs? In the term, CBDC can broadly refer to any digital representation of a central bank's money, including digital account balances that the commercial banks hold in their Federal Reserve accounts. So basically, all the countries are going to start converting their current dollars into CBDCs, which is a central bank digital currency. And I think they want to stay relevant. They want to stay look like, well, all the cryptos are in the news: Bitcoin, Ethereum, Theta, Litecoin, etc., Dogecoin. And so they've got to look, they don't want to look like they're behind the times. And so they're going to convert it. They have to convert it anyways. It's not like they're just doing it so they look like they're part of the pack.
I think it's it's a look, it's an efficiency thing.
Yeah. Could you do me a favor? Could you do me a favor? Could you hit the see the button where it shows just your face? See underneath our picture where there's a whole bunch of choices.
Okay, I'm gonna click. Is it this or is that's you?
No, okay, just go back. Go ahead.
I don't even know which one I was on. Let me see.
Okay, there we go. We got it there. Okay, anyways.
I'm sorry. Oh, I see where that is. Here, can I go back? I'm gonna go. Is this?
Just try it real quick because I've got an issue with. There we go. Okay, can you just keep talking about? Okay, just keep talking about that real quick, and then I've got to handle the dog again.
Boy, that's a nice lure that looks like a, oh gosh, I can't think of the name of that one. It's a Rapala, I believe. That's a nice little, looks like a little bluegill or punk. I can't see because my big fat shoulders are in the way. So I've got some nice bluegills out there. They're
we were talking about crypto hunting. Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know we were talking.
I said talk about this.
Oh. Okay, so here, I'm sorry. Okay,
that's okay. So what we were talking about is the relevancy of the CBDCs and why they're doing it, and they're, how we were talking about how the central banks.
It's an efficiency thing. It's the physical is going away, right?
Yeah.
About it. Okay. To me, that's a check, no brainer. So
yeah, here's another example. England's central bank moves ahead with CBDC with 7 job openings. All the banks are going forward with this. We are going to hear that even the U.S. banks are the central banks are going to have a digital version of their currency. And so I don't know why they always show ants whenever every one of these news pieces is from Cointelegraph. They always have ants in there. It's so weird. The United Kingdom Central Bank, the Bank of England, or the BOE, still maintains that it is unsure on a path forward regarding a central bank digital currency. And so it's just another thing that is happening, and we can't get around that. So it's just something to know that crypto's here. It's not going away, and it's awesome. So, I mean, just don't think that it's this thing that they're going to try to scare us with this FUD in the coming months, because they're just trying to scare you from not investing in it. So,
yeah, well, it's just now it becomes a I like to break things down pretty simple. Now
could you just keep talking? Okay.
Yes,
we got issues.
So this is really about, in my mind's eye, is private versus public in some fashion. And I think that, you're going to find that like anything, there's going to be competition. So if there's competition in this field, the best man wins, kind of thing. So if you provide a better product at a more reasonable cost with minimal friction, I think that's the design. I think that's the one thing about CBDCs is that they come with strings attached. Can they have the act that can shut you off? So now it's not you have money in your pocket. They're not going to come take money out of your pocket, but they could literally, if they don't like what you say, shut you off, close your account, take your money. So I think that's the real big challenge here. Is one of the things is security and privacy when it comes to, I'll call, private versus public. And it's not, I think sometimes we get in this, it's always got to be one or the other. I think throw them both out there and let's see what the market decides. The market will tell you exactly. Trust me, people across this world will make that decision on where everybody's going
But
to
I
go.
also think that to the person who is not that well versed into crypto yet, because they hear about Bitcoin, think it's, a scam or Ponzi scheme, because those words have been put out in the last month, and it's not. And the person who hasn't really followed it, and then they say, "Oh, the central bank's coming out with their own version of a digital currency. Cool. This is crypto." And then they convert their dollars into this, and then they think they're part of the crypto world, and they're not investing in it. And so I think some of this is just to confuse the person who hasn't researched into all this. And so it's just something that if you find our channel, realize it's okay that these banks are going this route. They're going to have to in order to kind of be relevant. But also, like Mark said, they can control, they can see every transaction you make with the digital currency.
Well, that's even one of the articles we read about the yuan, the Chinese yuan, that it's going to have where the currency is trackable and traceable. So,
Yeah.
Okay, great. That's what I want. I want to, and this is just one of those things that
Not that most people have anything to hide. It's not even that.
but it doesn't matter. As the saying goes, those who have nothing to hide nothing.
Right.
So it's like, but the point is there again, where do you stop then? Then
Do you want to live in a free society, or do you want to live in a society where everybody does know every single transaction you make, and then it's probably could be a public thing, and then they're like, "Oh, well, look at where Sammy Sue where'd he spend his money on? Oh, he's got a think about it. Look how many times he went to the liquor store."
Well, think about this.
You become like a big person in society. It's like, are you kidding me?
Well, think of it this way. So let's just say you go to work, you earn $1. Is that your personal property, or is that the property of the government? I mean, stop and think about that for just a quick second. Okay, you go to work. Okay, so you convert that dollar into gummy bears. So should the government come take your gummy bear? I mean,
right.
I'm making this kind of argument, a little simple, oversimplified, but really stop and think about it. That's your dollar. You went to work. You provided energy to accumulate that dollar. So
Right.
whose dollar is that dollar? Is it yours, or is it your government's? I think in a kind of a oversimplified way, that's kind of how I look at all this. It's like, well, in our country, I think it's supposed to be yours. So
Right. All right. Well, let's move on. We are talking about Bitcoin's price. This is the TradingView platform. Again, tradingview.com. You can get a free account. And up in the upper right-hand corner, you would type in BTC USD. And then if you want to go ahead and bring in the MACD, I just want to show you what's happening. You go over here to indicators where it says FX, type in MACD. And then here we go. And so we talked about this last week, what this means. It looks like Bitcoin is going to be having a great day today, in my humble opinion, not financial advice. When the blue MACD signal line is over, the blue MACD line is over the orange signal line, that means that Bitcoin is going up, or any other crypto is going up. And if you can see in the histogram down here, we had dark pink or dark red. That meant it was going down. And if you look on the upper part, you can see it's going down here. And then as it got a lighter pink and smaller, that means it was slowly going up. If you can see here, it was turning green. Now, right at this point here, can you see where it says April 30th? That's when Bitcoin is crossing, the MACD was crossing over. And now you can see that Bitcoin is going up. And so it looks like and then the histogram is dark green, and it's slowly getting bigger. And so I can almost say for a fact today, in my humble opinion, that this is going to be going up today. We're going to have a good day today in Bitcoin. So we'll see. Right now, today we are at 58,815.
wow,
Right at
nice.
this point here.
Yep.
And then, Mark, tell me if you can see this. I believe I can go to the 4-hour chart. Can you see that on the screen?
Yep.
Okay, so on the 4-hour chart, it doesn't look quite as good. And so this is recounting every 4 hours. And so right now, can you see in the histogram, it looks a little different. It says, so here we were, that was that day that it crossed over, May, right around here. And then right now it's going up, and then it was that dark red and then lighter pink, and now we're green, and it's going up slightly here, and it's going up here as well. And so it's just a slightly different view. And you can even go down. Did it pop over to the 2-hour?
Yep.
Okay, and so in the 2 hour, you can see it's actually doing quite well.
Yeah.
And so you can see that there. So can you understand the blue line when it's going up and it's over the orange signal line? It
Yep.
means that crypto is going up, and the histogram shows the strength of that, and it's green. Now, if all of a sudden you see in the histogram on your MACD start turning to this lighter green over here, can you see that?
Yep.
That means that people are selling off and it's dropping down in price.
Right.
So I highly suggest getting a trading view.
Free trading view.
Yeah, put in the MACD, and then you can watch and start watching the histogram, and then these 2 lines. It's not financial advice. It is just something that I want you guys to follow.
Education.
Yeah.
Education.
All right. Do you have anything else to share, dear?
Let me kind of dig down into my bag of tricks here. Let's see what I got. I know I have 1 or 2. Let's see if I'm going to want to share them. Let's see if I'm in a sharing, caring kind of mood today. And let's see. I'm going to click on this one unless you did this one, and it's on here, so I'm going to share it, and we're going to see. Brenda, did you do this one?
I did not. Nope, that's yours.
Oh, well, fantastic. There's that ant again. Yeah, we got to figure out the ant thing, because that's a little creepy if you ask me, but maybe it's something that we just haven't kind of dug into. Okay, here we go. Mainstream adoption of emerging technologies such as blockchain is inevitable, a transformation that younger generations will carry out. All right, here we go. Blockchain technology is one of the most promising technologies of our times, and core concept of it is really simple. I like that. Essentially, it is a public ledger or database. I think that public education about what blockchain actually is can be the key to its mass adoption. I'm going to leave this next thing, and then we'll kind of talk about it and get out of here. Lack of knowledge and perception from the general public of the differences between blockchain technology and cryptocurrency are the major hurdles of mainstream adoption. Hollywood and the mass media still portray the industry as having a deep criminal element, running, hostage holding, whatever. Associate it with the shady past of the Silk Road and the dark net. Okay, so the bottom line is kind of like what Brenda and I have been talking about. What we're here to do is start to understand this, because this is not, it. Let's put it this way: the true technical, the coding and all that, you're either designed for that or you're not. You can kind of understand it, but you have to decide if you kind of got that brain to dig down into that. But I think for the most part, I think people need to understand is why it's happening, what's happening, why it's happening, how it's going to affect their lives. And honestly,
not going away.
And it's said inevitable in the article. So it said in the article, it's I joke when I say that, but my point is simply this. It's simple. It really truly is simple. I remember the first time I was introduced to blockchain, some guy I think it was the kid from Ethereum. And he just said, a lot of the people in the world are unbanked. Okay, got it. Second thing was, this is peer-to-peer, cuts out the third party. Hey, sounds like a plan. That's it. I know there again, I'm simplifying it, but it's really that simple. And then it's just a matter of taking your current system, what you have now, the way money exchanges hand, and make it simpler and more cost-effective, frictionless.
Right. Better, stronger, faster, harder.
Yep.
But not harder, like as in, like more difficult, means stronger.
Well, it's less.
It's a stronger currency, so that you have, you don't have to worry, like we said, when we go to a central bank digital currency, that your money can never be frozen. Because if you custody your crypto, it's yours.
Well, okay.
You have control over it.
What's the difference? Think about this. I'm going to pose a question. What's the difference than printing more money than printing more digital money? I mean, right. What's the difference?
It's not any different. We're within especially Bitcoin, there's a limitation. 21 million is all that's ever going to get mined. So it's not like they can just print more Bitcoin because they want to.
It's hard money. It's not changing. It's not amalgamating. It's not morphing into something else. It is what it is. So
all right, let me share one last thing, and then I think we're done. This is not Bitcoin news, but this is about Ethereum, and I'm just sharing this just from the aspect of is about the Crypto's not going away. Crypto is here. Ethereum is one of the top cryptocurrencies behind Bitcoin, and it hit 3,000 for the very first time this weekend. And it's now larger than Bank of America. Ethereum token has eclipsed and the psychologically significant 3,000 per token mark today, rising as high as $3,003 on Binance. The surge has helped Ethereum overtake institutions such as the Walt Disney Company and the Bank of America in terms of total market cap. The world's largest smart contract enabled layer 1 has grown 24% on the week. All right. So again, this is not Bitcoin news. And so Mark and I like to really talk about primarily Bitcoin news, but this is just showing Ethereum has reached this significant point. And so now we will probably drop below that this is what usually happens. And then it's now going to reach above that in the coming weeks or month and then surpass that. Some are speculating by the end of this year. I heard this morning that Ethereum can hit 10K by the end of this year. And if that's the case, I can't even imagine what Bitcoin is going to go to. So,
I guess if you're in the long haul,
right?
It's important 20 years down the road, not 20 months. So
I always say we Mark and I operate from an aspect of we're in it's a 10-year plan with Bitcoin, and you have to just hodl and hold on. And some people sell when it's up high, and it depends upon what your strategy is. But it's a 10-year plan, and then in 10 years, Mark and I, not financial advice, believe that this is going to be something huge. So I think we're just here to say we're going to wrap this up. That we're here to educate the average Joe and Jane to know that don't be left behind. If you need help, reach out to us. And we'll see, we have people that we know that can help you get on board onto crypto to make it easy. If you're uncomfortable setting up your own Coinbase, they're consultants. They can help you, and they can help you get onboarded by your first, $50, $10, $100, whatever you're comfortable in. And then you understand how to buy it, how to store it, and get comfortable with the volatility. That's what we were given great advice. And we're here just for you guys to start paying attention to the news. Search up what we talked about every day, search up the word Bitcoin, and start seeing the FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And then when there's great things that happen after that and how it goes up. So anything else you want to say before we wrap up?
I would just kind of add on to that and just say, educate yourself. Find out the sources by which you're educating yourself, because you have to understand, and this is something, you have to learn over time. So as you get a little older, you learn this, that everybody has an agenda to some effect, right, Bren? I mean, every article out there, it could be pro-Bitcoin, could be anti-Bitcoin, pro-crypto. And so understand that there are all different opinions, so you have to sort through this.
You have to understand who like you said, who the author is, who the source is, either the company or the person talking. Like Mark said, what's their agenda? What are good or bad agenda? What's their history? Where have they come? I have taught our kids for years, and that's one of the things you do for an author is you find out what was their childhood like, what was their parents like, did they go through any sort of economic hardship? And so when they write a book or something, it's from that perspective. And so the same thing with the Berkshire Hathaway guy. What's his history? What's he about? Why is he doing FUD about Bitcoin? And you look at it all as a huge thing, not to get religious here, but it's like looking at the Bible. You just don't look at one verse in the Bible. You look at the whole chapter and then the whole Bible as a general thing. Same thing with this here.
Yeah.
Just don't look at one piece of news and say, oh, crypto's dying. I knew it was a Ponzi scheme. Look at the whole picture and see what the narrative is. And then maybe not be, they want the retail people, us little guys, to be reactive and get scared.
Yeah. Charlie Munger and Warren Buffett, they are who they are. They passed on Amazon, they passed on Google, they passed on Microsoft. So are they geniuses? I mean, I think it's funny because I think we've, in the world of media, like, oh, these guys are, these are the kings of all kings as far as financing. Oh my gosh, you can't go against what these.
That's how they pass it off as. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly. And the point is that they're just one. They're sometimes it's just noise.
Right. All right. Well,
thank you.
We'll be back tomorrow. Thank you so much. And Mark, do you want to send us off?
Yep. Hey, everybody. Thanks again for joining us. We're here at Bitcoin Say What?
Bitcoin Say What?
Do the shimmy, Mark.
Boom.
All right, bye guys. We'll see you tomorrow.
Educate you, entertain you, and talk about the evolution of Bitcoin, blockchain, and cryptocurrencies.
All right, we'll see you guys tomorrow.